Hi there, and thanks for joining. I found this old bedpost and chalked it with white chalk paint. Just brushed it on there really loosely, added some moss into a couple of holes, and then I drilled a hole so I could put a little peg there for our bird. Had some reclaimed barn wood that I cut for a roof, and now I've taken one of our white tags and I've sanded it down and stained it with a gray stain to kind of get it to match the post. And taking our Welcome Quilts transfer, I'm just going to use the Welcome. And I'm going to put our chalk paste, our black velvet chalk paste through there. Make it really, really simple. We're going to keep this whole thing simple. That way it could look good in any home. I'm not going to do specific colors for any of it. And then I'm taking some raffia through that tag hole to tie it up and make it kind of look like a little bit of dead grass or nesting, whatever. Just kind of go with our little bird theme here. Tying that up, and then I'm going to cut all of the pieces different lengths. You're going to see me chopping away off screen a little bit with the scissors. I want it all different lengths so it looks a little uneven and imperfect, perfectly imperfect. And I'm going to attach the tag to my post with a brad nailer, and all of this, just so you know, is going to be sealed so that it can go outdoors if you want it to. I would only put it in a covered porch because of the moss that I'm going to have on it. But here we go, brad nailing it in place. Then we're going to move on to the next piece. This is the reclaimed barnwood that I told you about. I cut it and glued it and nailed it together, added some raffia to it, and then I'm going to add a little bit of flowers to it as well, just to give it a little something else. There we go, my little perch. What do you think so far? Progressing pretty well from a bedpost, right? And now our farm tile. I'm going to use this all the way around the bottom of the post, watching out for the nail that's in there. I don't want to cut into my silk screen. I press it down, and then I am not going to put this paste through every single place like you normally see me squeegee every spot. I'm going to leave it pretty loose and just rub it in a little bit with my finger. That way I get different amounts of it in different places, give it kind of a worn, aged look, just like I gave you a little sneak peek of there. So just pressing it through, using my finger a little bit, the squeegee a little bit, just keeping it uneven and perfectly imperfect, like I said previously. And I'm going to do this all the way around the entire post. The one thing I like about the size of this is it can wrap perfectly around. The pattern's going to follow all the way around. Now you see that big gap there on the front where the bed frame went through. I'm actually going to turn that into two little nesting holes for birds, and I'm going to use two more of my tags and show you how I did those and nail those in place, add a little bit more moss for them. So we'll have three little bird holes in this cute little post that can go by your front door and welcome your friends and family into your home. Once I pull this transfer off, I'm going to take it to the bathtub and just wash it off with water, get all of that off the front and the back, and dry it upside down on a towel, and I'll put it back onto my backer sheet. Like I've said before, you know, you can use these transfers 8 to 10 times, they say, and so you can get a lot of use out of it if you wash them right away and take care of them. And I am going to wipe the back of this one off with a Lysol wipe just because I forgot to wax my post. So a little bit of the paint that I had laid down came back up on that sticky transfer. So I'm going to rub it off with a Lysol wipe. But you don't need to. You can keep your cleaning completely chemical free. There we go. Looks pretty cool, huh? All right, so those tags were perfectly white. And the first one I had sanded and stained. I decided just to try and stain it to keep it a little easier for everyone. And so I just take a little bit of a wet part there with the stain on it, and then I'm rubbing it with the dry side to kind of blend it in and throughout. So simple as that. And then I'm going to chalk once again in the black velvet paste. I'm going to use our Feels Like Home transfer with the chicken on it. The thing I'm going to do though is leave off the chicken. Where the chicken is, I'm actually going to use a bird feather transfer. That way, you know, this can get a little wet if it needs to. Out in the elements, it won't be a real feather. But just chalking through there, pull that up, set it aside to dry. And then we're going to fit the Feels Like Home in there, or the Like Home in there perfectly. Smoothing it down, and then I will pull the chalk paste through there, lift it up, and we'll set that one aside. Now, the little bit of color I am going to add is going to come in now. It is going to be our shimmer melon, and I'm going to do that with the feather. As you guys know, the chalk wipes off while it's wet, so I just wiped off that little mistake there. So I'm going to use the Let Your Dreams Be Your Wings transfer, and I'm going to pick out one feather off of that. I'm showing you guys, you can use so many transfers. So if you've bought some before and you think, I'm not going to use it again, I mean, look how many times I use different transfers over and over and mix and match. So it's not like once you're done creating with it, you're done. You can use these over and over. Putting that shimmer melon through there. I'm going to pull that up, wash that transfer off in the sink. But look at that sparkle there. All right, so now to attach these to my post, I am going to show you here so far what we've got. Move those aside, and we're going to cover up our long rectangular hole to make two little bird holes. What do you think of that? Pretty cool, right? So I did use my brad nailer. It didn't go in all the way, so I am hammering that down the rest of the way. And we're going to seal this up, and I will have this for sale on the 10th at the Civic Center. So if it's something you would like to put in your home, just let me know. Thank you so much for joining, and as always, happy chalking.